It's been 4 years, everybody. Planetside 2 has finally had its 4th successive anniversary. And most games don't make it this far, and that's one hell of an achievement in the era of fads and games that come and go with the tides of hype and fandom and storms that go with it and die almost as quickly as they ignited. It's definitely been a rocky ride and a rocky development for Planetside 2, but at the end of the day, it's provided us with something that is quite different to the normal shooters, with a massive scale that you just don't get anywhere else. And also even pushing the boundaries of what an FPS actually is by adding the MMO elements and even now construction elements into the game. So happy birthday Planetside 2, and I wish you the best going forward. There's also been some interesting changes, little additions that are going onto the public test server at the moment, in the form of a set of weapons and some tweaks. And the first one we have is the NSX Tomoe, and it's basically a scout rifle with a high rate per minute. It's got a low magazine size with 14 bullets default, and then you can get that 2 extra with an extended magazine, but it's not a lot. It means that you could maybe squeeze 2 kills out of that clip, perhaps. But realistically, you're going to be getting 1 kill from the magazine without the extended mags. And you can also put suppressor or forward grip on it, but I could see this easily being a one-off assassinate weapon where you sneak around your infiltrated cloak and pop somebody off really quickly and then go hide again. So that's why the suppressor might very well shine. It looks sort of NS-y, it looks pretty cool. It's actually fairly long and quite chunky, so it looks a bit odd when you see it on the infiltrator. And especially when it has a suppressor on the end of it, it looks massive. And then we have the NSX Amaterasu, which, you know, Rel's gone on the naming list of sort of anime, sort of Japanesey style names. But hey, you know, put them in the game, that's fine. But this is a knife, right? But actually, if you right click, you go into a fire mode that fires out slashers in the air. And it actually has a drop off, it only has a certain range. I'm not exactly sure what the range is, I should have tested that actually. But it's not too far. It's sort of a mid-range weapon. But it does it says 333 damage. I'm not sure if that's right, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. And you can kill people with it. You could also be jumping around with it and just flailing around these slashers. But honestly, using a pistol of any variety, even the beamer, is more effective than using this knife with its click. But I think it's just one of those things that looks cool, and I think people that are interested in using it and want to Araxium it will enjoy playing with it. And it is fun, and it looks pretty epic because it has this sort of orange glow, and you're jumping around and sort of flailing everywhere with these slashers. Whether it's too silly for the game, I don't think so. I think it's quite interesting, but maybe you think otherwise. You should let me know in the comment section below. Then we've also got the Engineer Shield, which is another addition that people have been asking for ages. Basically now the Engineer can drop down a shield, and it looks fairly cool. It's got this sort of like leaf-like veins on it that sort of hold it together, and it's like an energy shield. And it takes 3 mines to take it out, or 4 C4 to take it down. So it's actually quite sturdy, and on the edges of it, you can hide behind it crouched, but in the center, you can see over the top with your head, but you could also fire back a little bit as well. I don't think it'll have a massive impact on the fights, but will allow infantry to put down some cover and sort of move up in the open, and also change the dynamic of indoors fights as well a little bit. We also get to see the Rocklet rifle again, which was taken out because it was so buggy before. But there's only the NS variety at the moment with just the normal Rocklets that fire off dumbfire, either in a burst or a like semi-automatic rocket mode, which are cool. I like these 2 modes. I think they're interesting. I think they could add to the light assault class. But then there's the Locklet rifle, and this is a lock-on, and it almost half clips a ESF with the lock-ons. And honestly, this is going to be if this comes out, and I really hope it doesn't, I really hope they just decide not to go for the lock-ons this time, because lock-ons suck. But yeah, it'll be a pain in the arse. And let's go on with the dumbfires. Maybe bring the flak back again. The flak would have been interesting, but not the Locklet. No, please not the Locklet. Please. But anyway, the other big thing, which is actually really cool and quite interesting, which Rel has already shown off, is the Impetus System, where you basically weapons on tanks now give some rock. Well, actually, just their the HE variant to give the biggest rock, so if you hit near an enemy tank or enemy vehicle, you can knock them backwards with your blast, and the blast radius sort of pushes vehicles back. This sort of was first seen when we got the glimpses of the orbital strikes, where it literally pushes out vehicles into the stratosphere around it. But now we can push it back with the HE and heat variants and default cannons on the tanks on enemy vehicles, and I think the idea is that it gives a bit more of an edge rather than just giving the armor-piercing rounds, which don't have this ability, by the way. The armor-piercing rounds don't push vehicles backwards. Like, one advantage over the armor-piercing, which are at the moment like the default pick really for tankers. Whether it's that useful in game, I'm not too sure, but what it'll really do is make it that tankers have to pay a lot more attention when they're trying to aim, and especially if you're getting hit by a HE tank, they could be knocking you off course and knocking your aim off as you try and volley back with your own fire. But yeah, I just think it's an interesting addition. It's not necessarily something that's balancing or adding anything great to the game, but just a neat little feature that's just might be fun to play with, and that's always nice to have. So these aren't currently live, they're all in the public test server at the moment, and they're all subject to change as always, but there's quite a few little fun things coming, and I thought I'd just show them off and also say happy birthday to Planetside 2, because it deserves a good celebration for making it for 4 years. It is quite ridiculous actually that it has been this long. Anyway, what does everyone else think about the stuff that I've shown off today? What about the 4th anniversary? That's quite old, isn't it? Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. Until next time everybody, Joshino.